everyone, and welcome to T3 Presents, the official TikTok fighting game community podcast. I'm MyLifeIsAnRPG, and with me is my co-host, fueled by coffee and spite, it's Ghoul.EXE. Say hi, Ghoul.
That is me. How's it going, everybody?
We have the rival to Demonic Underpants, it's HeroicHat.
That's right. That's right.
Also joining us is UndisputedJoey, the one and only Undisputed. There are no other Joeys.
Get used to this voice, you're gonna hate it.
And we have much more than one specific Mar, it's General Mar.
The best Mar. No, I can't even say that. Mighty Mar is a thing.
So for those of you just joining us, this is our inaugural episode. We finally hit a critical mass of bearded dudes with opinions, so we started a podcast.
I seem to have missed the memo.
I came yesterday.
I think it's just us, RPG.
3 out of 5 is not bad.
Hey.
Yeah, this is how podcasts are formed. They're formed out of the aether when enough people with beards have opinions. Either way, we are here to talk about fighting games, what they mean to us, what they mean to the community, and, you know, get people involved in the fighting game community in general. And this week's topic is fighting games in 2024.
That is the year we are currently in case anybody's watching this in like 2078. We are right now in 2024or.
Well, hello from the past to the future.
So yeah, Ghoul, if you want to do like a basic overview of like what we might be talking about, you know, in this episode.
Yeah, for sure. So it is January 2024, brand new year is about to start. Well, it's already started, but we're about to really get into it here. We got a bunch of fighting game stuff happening this year. First and foremost is Tekken 8. That's, you know, the elephant in everybody's room, the one that everybody's waiting for, the last of the big three to get its current gen installment on the PS5 era. The big three, of course, being Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, and Tekken. And people have been playing betas, people have been playing demos. Everybody's excited about Tekken, so we're definitely going to cover that. Also coming out, we have Under Night in Birth 2, I think is the entire title. I don't know what the whole title is. We just call it Under Night here, or Uni. They do be making them titles hella long. But it is a full-fledged sequel to Under Night in Birth. What is it now? CLR?
Yeah, Uniclear.
Uniclear.
I believe it's Under Night in Birth Cis Celeste or something like that.
Yeah, we call it.
Yeah.
We're in there, then you're correct.
Yeah, we're gonna call it Uni 2. And that's what we're talking about. We have the looming threat of the release of Project L. We don't know exactly when that's coming or if it's even coming this year, but it's there, so we're gonna talk about it. We have, you know, upcoming Street Fighter 6 DLC. We have impending Strive DLC. Multiverses is set to make a comeback this year. Rivals of Aether 2, which I am personally very excited about. There's a new Garu Mark of the Wolves, which is incredibly exciting for a number of reasons, but we'll get to it. And then, you know, we'll talk about what T3 is doing, you know, who we are, what we're going to do, what we plan on accomplishing this year.
So I guess we're going to just start off with the big one, because I know it's the one that a lot of people are looking forward to. Let's talk about Tekken.
Hell yeah.
Tekken 8 is, in my opinion, going to be really big. I think that it was going to be a lot bigger than a lot of prior Tekken releases for a couple reasons. Number one, it's the first Tekken that's being developed with PC in mind. Two, it's the first Tekken that's being developed primarily for non-arcade platforms, which is also going to be very big. 3, I just think that the heat system is going to get a lot of weebs involved. Like, I mean, people who like anime games are going to really like the heat system. But really, in general, the fact that this is being developed for home use primarily is a huge step for Tekken. We really have not seen what Bandai Namco can do if they focus on developing it from jump for the home market. Which is saying something, you know? They've always had to deal with porting in the past, right?
Right, because Tekken 7 launched in arcades 2 years before we saw it in home consoles. Tekken 7 was in arcades in 2015. and in Japan, and there were some arcades here that got their hands on some cabs, but it didn't see a home release until 2 entire years later in 2017. And there was a lot of discussions like in the game's early stages talking about how, Japan and the East is going to have an advantage, and people who can make it to Japan to play the game are going to have an advantage in the early stages of competition because they have a 2-year head start on the game from the rest of the world, And
Which was true.
It was. I mean, Japan dominated for a long time. Players like, Cherryberry Mango and Peeling. Well, Peeling is American, but he spent so much time in Japan, just grinding the game. And, good on him because he could make that happen for himself. But a lot of people might not remember, but Princess Ling was dominant in the early stages of Tekken 7. Well, like once tournaments and stuff started, he was winning so much.
I believe Nobi too, right?
Nobi was another huge name in the early stages of Tekken 7. And, it wasn't until, maybe after like halfway through like the first year that we started seeing, like JDCR and Saint and like Knee and the typical really strong Korean players start to make waves again. And it wasn't until even later that we started getting American players like the Shadow 20Zs, the Anakins, the Speed Kicks, the Mr. Naps, or sorry, Jimmy J. Tran. I don't think he goes by Mr. Naps anymore. Before they started really doing damage. So the fact that Tekken 8 is simultaneously launching across the entire world is a huge step up for the franchise.
I think people are still going to argue that there's still like an advantage to playing like the closed betas and like the demos and stuff like that.
Yeah, but it's not. That isn't going to make as much of a difference as having 2 entire years of near exclusive access to the video game.
I mean, also there's the fact that if you really wanted to, you could find a way to play the beta.
Yeah,
I mean, if you cared enough, not that we would ever condone any of that here on P3 Presents.
There is a legal to play demo of the game out that allows unrestricted access to an offline versus mode with 4 characters. You can currently go download a demo of Tekken 8 and play it right now and have access to 4 characters and run matches offline with your friends.
Who's been doing that?
I did that.
I have been doing that.
Same.
It's been
I
awesome.
don't have any friends to play with.
We can talk about Parsec, right?
Yeah, Parsec. Parsec is Parsec.
It aside from like competition, from a technical standpoint, this is very important too, because part of the reason why Tekken 7's netcode was was because a lot of the things were shoehorned into something that was developed to run on an arcade platform. Like, the PCs and the consoles were just not matching up to specs. And if you unravel the code of Tekken 7, it is a mess. It is so bad. It is not elegantly programmed at all.
You can feel it when you play it. I'm not a programmer, but I can feel that game is held together with duct tape and chewing gum.
Right.
Especially on PC.
Especially on PC.
Especially on PC. And making something for platforms that it's going to be on primarily is huge for making it more stable, for making it easier to update, for allowing you to push patches out quicker, for allowing the net code to be more stable, matchmaking to be more stable, allowing it to be more compatible with different controller setups. Like, it's going to be very huge. It's really interesting to think that Tekken is one of the quote-unquote big 3, but hadn't gotten to this point yet, right? Where it was designing primarily for consoles and primarily for PCs, primarily for home use.
That speaks for how amazing the gameplay itself is, because it brought itself through legacy and gameplay up to that stage, and carried through like little casual stuff with like arcade endings. But that's should speak volumes to how much of a legacy Tekken really has.
I mean, yeah, I don't want anybody to think that we're like talking shit about Tekken as a franchise. Tekken it's one of the first video games I ever played. I was raised on Tekken. It's my favorite fighting game franchise. I love it to death. but the problems with Tekken 7 were glaring, and it all boils back to the fact that it had to be ported from a 2-year-old version of the game. I mean, it doesn't all boil back there, but it's a big factor. Joe, you got something to say?
Yes. This is a little bit off topic, but like a Tekken Bowling, when that came out, did that come like how long was that between like arcade maybe starting in arcades, pouring into consoles, and then like a home mode being added?
So Tekken Bowl was added as part of the first season of DLC. So the season 1 pass for Tekken 7 included Noctis, Geese, and Tekken Bowl. And that was it. I think it had some like costume items. But that was the first season pass. So I want to say I'd have to look it up, and I don't feel like doing that. But it
was the year and a half.
Was it a year and a half? So until Tekken Bowl came out, the modes were, story mode versus mode, online versus mode, practice mode, and you had treasure battle. And is there an arcade mode, or is it just treasure? Oh no, there was the story chapters.
Yeah.
For where each character had one story chapter where you did one fight as that character, and then you got an arcade ending, essentially.
Poor Eddie.
Poor Eddie.
Nah, don't poor Eddie.
I didn't play a lot of Tekken.
Eddie has a lot of crimes to pay for, okay? He's...
Yeah. Tekken 3. You want to pour anybody, poor King, because he went from having like this amazing telenovela, my favorite side storyline in terms of anything in the Tekken universe, and then that entire thing, this giant telenovela spanning over like 6 games almost, and it gets resolved in one sentence. Off screen.
Off screen.
Well, that's another thing that you could look forward to in Tekken 8, right? Because they're hyping up their new story mode.
Yep.
It's, like Street Fighter 6, they're trying to make it a whole involved, single player campaign, which is great. It only took us like 60 years to realize that, fighting games need gameplay. But like,
I mean, Tekken 8 looks like it's almost going to be a video game, right?
Yeah, it's almost a video game.
Crazy.
That's exciting.
It's almost a video game. Tekken Ball still hasn't been announced yet, so I'm still waiting for that.
No, but we have Tekken Ball, which is better than Tekken Bowl.
And I heard that we're going to have another Tekken Force or like scenario campaign. I heard that's in the works.
That was a leak, I think. So I don't believe that 100% until it's announced officially. I do want to preface that the existence of a Tekken Force mode is essentially a rumor. But for anyone who isn't familiar, the Tekken Force mode is a full-size beat 'em up where you like go through levels and like play basically like a Streets of Rage style beat 'em up game as Tekken characters.
I've been missing out so much. I need to get back into I need to get into Tekken now.
Right. Well, we haven't seen it since Tekken 6. With the
which doesn't sound like it was that long ago, but remember Tekken 7 came out in 2015.
Yeah, and Tekken Tag. So after 6 came Tag 2, which came out in 2011, if I'm remembering correctly.
Wow.
And then, so it was 4 years between the release of Tag 2 and the arcade release of Tekken 7, and then another 2 years until we saw it in home consoles. So
that's insane. Yeah,
and then Tag 2, I don't think Tag 2 had a beat 'em up mode.
It did not.
Yeah, it was just Tekken 6 had the scenario campaign, which had the level based beat 'em up mode that had like a story attached to it, which was awesome.
Right.
And it had co-op and everything. It was so cool. And then we just didn't see it in the next 2 video games.
Yeah, and everybody should be excited about the fact that Tekken 8 is not an arcade game because of this kind of honestly crap. I don't like having to wait 2 years just to get bonus stuff or like a different version. Like, oh look, Tag 2 on the Wii, you can play with Nintendo items. Mario Kart with Tekken, yay! Why didn't it begin with?
Listen, Tag 2 on the Wii U went kind of hard. I'm not gonna lie.
It did. Like,
yeah.
Imagine if we got that in 2011.
Right.
So actually, that brings up a good point. We all seem to agree, but what do you guys think about the people on the internet who have said that since this is not going to be an arcade release, it's going to be geared toward more casual players, and that might ruin the Tekken experience?
Good.
Yeah,
I want it
good
to
too.
be geared to casual people so more people will buy it and then it will continue. Okay, I don't care.
So
Going off that, my friend who just plays Mortal Kombat says, "I want to play Tekken with you when it comes out."
yeah, so
Boom.
This is a good thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
like I said, I've been playing Tekken for years. I've been competitive, going to tournaments since Tekken 7 released. And I just don't think that introducing these things, like especially like content, right? Like releasing content isn't going to dampen the competitive integrity of your video game. The versus mode is still there.
Right.
Right.
Like you can
So like
you can click on the versus mode and just play that one if that's all you want.
And now you can
So
go online.
I
Right.
always say it, like I have to keep saying it. It's just like as much as like the games are for us who just play fighting games like this, we are not the target demographic. It is the person that just wants to pick the person and press the buttons and do cool things. That's it. That's what makes the money. We don't make
Right.
the money.
Casuals keep the lights on.
Yeah.
Casuals keep the lights
Yeah.
on. And like
I do got one thing. I technically have more time in the game than you, Ghoul, because I started off with Tag 2, like in 2012,
Mhm.
and I was going to my local, and I was trying to get people to join our tournaments and teach Tekken in Tag 2. Do you realize how hard that was?
so
I had to teach people Tekken with Tag 2.
With Tag
you know
2.
how hard it is to teach people 7? It's twice as hard. for
I
Tag
do know
2.
how hard it is to teach people Tekken 7.
Exactly. So
if I can learn Bob in like half an hour, I think I did pretty good.
So for those of you who might not know, Tekken Tag 2 is a very polarizing game in the Tekken franchise, especially among the competitive community. And the reason it is because Tekken characters have a lot of moves, and it's a tag game, which means you got to learn 2 characters
minimum.
So and
Which
you
is
learn
crazy. It's Tag 2 was the one that I liked. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Tag 2 was the one I went hard on.
so
And then I fell out during this Tekken 7 age.
I mean,
you
you
know?
can pick clone characters if you want to learn one character.
you really could. I mean, but not every character had a clone, right? Like I couldn't pick 2 Hwarangs. I mean, you could pick Hwarang and Beck, but their move lists weren't the same.
He's close.
th-
He's half.
Kind of, but not really, you know? Like
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into explaining the differences, but they were like different functional characters. But like, yeah, you could pick like the 2 Laws, or you could pick like you couldn't pick 2 regular Jins. You'd have to pick Jin and Devil Jin, and they're completely different functions.
There's Devil Jin and Angel. There's
Devil Jin and Angel, yeah.
Ogre, Ancient Ogre. There's Lily and her butler. There's
Yeah.
Bob and Skinny Bob.
There was
Yeah.
Lee and Violet, right? Like you could pick clone characters, so you could essentially play 2 of the same character.
You
But
could do double Mokujin.
You could do double Mokujin. But the really crazy stuff in Tag 2 came from the tag system itself, because you had to know how to use like stuff like the tag crash and like the tag assault combos, and like switching between characters in the middle of a combo to get the most damage and wall carry and all of that stuff. And so it just added so much to the learning experience, on top of the
And-
roster being huge in a game where characters are already complex. So Tekken Tag 2 is a pretty difficult game to learn and to teach.
You know what I've been hearing since that game, though? Especially from like pros? This isn't Tekken, or this isn't Tekken enough. But they said the exact same thing because of the tag mechanics. They're like, well, let's just play solo. The game isn't built around that.
It's
And
not.
then they're like, okay, well, 7 nerfed the sidestepping, so this isn't Tekken enough. And then they have supers. And now we have Tekken 8, where it's going to have the heat mode. And the first thing I heard was, well, this isn't Tekken
this isn't
enough.
Tekken.
That's just the fighting game cycle, though, right? Because
Yeah.
like people said the same thing about Street Fighter 6 when it came out. People said the same thing about Mortal Kombat 1 when it came out. And when Street Fighter Fighter 5 came out, people said the same thing about Street Fighter 5 in reference to Street Fighter 4. When Street Fighter 4 came out, people said the same things in reference to Street Fighter 4 about Street Fighter 3. And when Street Fighter 3 came out, you get where I'm
will
going.
never be happy. Old heads will never be happy.
Ever.
This is change. It's bad.
So, and that's what it is. Like when Tekken 7 came out, I started beating people with way more experience than me because I was willing to use the new stuff. I was willing to use the power crushes and the rage drives and the rage arts and all of like the new mechanics that the game introduced, because as far as I was concerned, this is the video game. You know, like characters have an armor move that they can use to armor through my opponent's attacks. That's never been in Tekken before, but it's here now, so I'm going to use it.
Characters evolve, games evolve, we all have to evolve.
Absolutely. And so going from 7 to 8, when I got access to the demo, the first thing I did was try to figure out how to use the heat system. Because I know that as an experienced Tekken player, that heat system is going to be the big game changer for the new title that's going to change the way I understand the game.
Imagine like getting a new mechanic and not wanting to use it.
Right. That's crazy to me.
Imagine that.
Imagine playing Street Fighter 6 without drive impact. That makes no sense.
Exactly.
We know that, old heads are going to complain, and I'm saying this as an old head, right?
Yeah.
But we know that that's going to happen. But at the end of the day, I think the strength of Tekken 8 is going to be its ability to draw in new players.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Then I got a question, as soon as we're on the topic and you brought it up. What's everybody's opinion on Heat?
Oh, I fucking love it.
Sorry, Roman cancels.
That's why I love it. So I'm a dirty anime versus game player. So this makes Tekken feel like a dirty anime versus game, and so I'm just all in.
Like I'm sitting here, I'm playing Grand Blue, and I can just hop on Tekken and just like, oh, it's more or less the same. I could do something like this. All right, yeah. Do some things.
That's part of the reason why I think that this is going to have a lot of draw to it, because a lot of casual players, like, let's face it, casual players don't know any better, but a lot of casual players just look at the flashing doohickeys and go, Tekken doesn't have a whole lot of flashing doohickeys. Look at all the flashing doohickeys these other games have. Obviously, I'm going to play these other games. Now Tekken has flashing doohickeys. And
you
like
need to use flashy doohickeys where you hit the button and hit another button and it does the cool thing.
I'm not here to patronize anyone. Maybe you are, Mar, but I'm not here to patronize anyone.
I actually like the easy to use mode. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I think the flashing doohickeys, I think heat mode is going to bring in people that want to feel like, oh, look at this cool shit I could do.
Yeah.
Like cool shit moments sell video games.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like, you need to give the player feedback for what they're doing, right? They need to feel like what they're doing is cool. As soon as you can make somebody feel that, they're going to be invested. What's up, Joey?
I was going to say, I remember watching another YouTube video about fighting games, and they said what sells is that you go to YouTube and you find the all level 3 Critical Art Super YouTube video compilation. That's what sells video games. That's what people click and watch.
They always have the highest amount of views.
Yeah.
And Tekken 8 has a hype beam. So, I mean, we're done.
Go.
Yeah.
We're done.
So,
millions of sales.
I can sit here and talk about...
Beam?
Go ahead.
What?
What's the hype beam?
Jack's rage art?
Oh, his laser?
Okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, my head went to Fangs, where he just punches the pillar of death into you from the ground up.
Also good. Good.
Yeah. I can sit here and talk about Tekken all night long. But we have some other stuff to get to. So, like, in the closing statements of this part of the topic, I want to say that as an experienced Tekken player, I am so looking forward to Tekken 8. Seeing the character trailers and the presentation and the graphics and the new mechanics and seeing so many people excited about it has really rejuvenated my excitement for the series. Because, like, RPG, you're a friend of mine and we play a lot of games together. You haven't seen me play Tekken 7 in a long time.
I mean, I haven't seen you been excited about Tekken for basically since the day I met you.
Right,
so,
exactly. And so Tekken 7 kind of lost its luster to me after a while. And to feel excited about Tekken again is just so important to me. It really, really is. And I'm really thrilled that Tekken 8 was able to bring me back. you know.
That's
And
the new car effect, man.
it is. And maybe, you know, at the end of Tekken 8's lifespan, maybe I'll have something similar to say. But we're not at the end of Tekken 8's lifespan. We're looking at the beginning, and this is what I'm feeling now.
I mean, Tekken 7 had a hell of a run.
It did.
I'm not gonna
It
lie.
did. It was the
Yeah.
most successful Tekken game of all time, and I will never try to take that away from it. I've had some of the best moments of my life playing, watching, commentating, enjoying Tekken 7.
And here's
But
hoping Tekken 8 takes that title.
absolutely, I think it will.
All right, so let's move on to Under Night in Birth Sis Celeste, otherwise known as Uni 2.
Terrible title.
I in particular am very excited about this. It like we said, this is a full sequel. It isn't like Uni and Uniclear and Unicliss and Uni. You know, I really should just stop saying the titles for these games.
That second to last one was real close to a naughty word.
But it's not like those which were just, you know, essentially patch updates, you know, the old school style. This is a full-fledged sequel, new characters, new modes, really in-depth tutorial, looks very interesting. Revamped grid system that still has the back and forth that people liked. It looks fantastic. It's going to have rollback day one. It's going to have lobbies day one. It's going to have special event modes. It looks great. And I don't think anyone's going to play it.
I didn't know it was coming out this month. That's that
I
question.
mean,
Hey, if it's doing industry standard stuff, that's a good selling point.
Absolutely is.
I think that there's nothing bad so far that I can say about this game. I think that its release is being somewhat mismanaged because it is releasing right near Tekken 8. And as much as people like to say, oh, the Tekken 8 fan base and the Uni fan base are two different fan bases, that is not how the majority of video game sales work. Most people do not have the ability to buy more than one video game in a time window, which means that the people who weren't going one way or another, the people who weren't dedicated Tekken fans or dedicated Uni fans that already knew what they were going to buy, that like 95% of sales, which are people who are not dedicated to a fan base, they're gonna go to Tekken, in my opinion. Not because I'm even saying that Tekken 8, you know, is necessarily the superior game. It has more brand recognition. It's including more modes because it has a bigger budget. It has more marketing. I mean, I just saw the Brian Cox, you know, like documentary thing, which was wild.
So silly.
That was wonderful, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't know how he pronounced Jim.
Yeah. And we don't even have a full gameplay trailer for Uni 2 yet. We had gameplay videos, but we don't have like a mass release trailer. So like I would like to see Uni 2 succeed. I think it's an amazing pillar of the anime fighting game community. I love its assault dash mechanics. I love the way that it kind of combines footsies with the reverse beat stuff from Melty. I just from the standpoint of someone who has worked in the gaming industry, I have no idea what its vector to success is right now. I don't think it'll live very long.
My thing with games like Under Night, right? Like games like Under Night and Melty and like those sort of more niche within a niche anime games. I mean, it's mostly anime games that fit within that, but I digress. But those games, especially like Uni 2, I see Uni 2 succeeding where it matters, which is with the people who actually like really love the Under Night series. Which like obviously from a business standpoint, businesses want to make money, right? But coming from a member of the FGC and somebody who just cares about playing fun games with my friends, I think Uni 2 is going to be an awesome addition to the FGC. I think it's going to kick ass where it needs to, which is going to be like cool gameplay, good netcode, new characters, shake up this system that everybody loves just a little bit. and give Under Night fans something new, you know? I think that's what that game needs to do. If I were a developer at French Bread, that's what I would personally be aiming to do. And I think that the game is going to hit the mark in that regard. It's obviously not going to be as much of a commercial success as something like Tekken, right? It's just not. And it would be unrealistic to assume otherwise. But do I think it needs to do that in order to be a beloved addition to the FGC? I don't think so. I think it's going to hit all of the checkboxes that it needs to be a good game for us.
Yeah.
Correct.
I've got a good comparison that I just thought of. It's like one of your just a stereotypical anime movie, like a Dragon Ball movie, a Bleach movie, or a Naruto movie, or One Piece movie, just hitting the theaters the same weekend as an MCU movie. That's the best comparison.
But to play devil's advocate, though, in the past when that has happened, it has been a huge financial hit to the companies and has prevented anime movies from getting localizations. Like my point is not that I think Under Night should have success on the scale of Tekken. My point is, I think because Under Night is releasing concurrently with Tekken, it is going to see less success than Under Night would usually get if it were not releasing concurrent with Tekken.
Okay,
it was never a competitor with Tekken in terms of scale, right? But I just don't think we're going to see access to Under Night by the people who want to play Under Night on its scale for a while, because for a while everyone's going to be playing Tekken.
You know where it's really going to pop off? When it's going to pop off by grabbing new players when, like, a couple months later and it's on the discount.
Mm-hmm.
That's when people who are like, sure, let me get a new fighting game, and it's like $20 off, they'll get it.
Funny you mentioned that. I was actually going to bring up the price of the game, saying it coming out at the same time as Tekken. This comes out January 24th, and right now the price is $50. So I feel like that's a little too much around that time frame. So as you agreed, when the Tekken hype slowly dies down, this game will probably go on sale for a good price, and everyone will pick it up around then.
So French Bread's policy with Melty, which I think they are, transferring over to Under Night, is DLC characters are free.
Interesting.
And I actually think that's when Uni 2 might pop off. I think people are probably going to sleep on it around this time with Tekken. But then when they announce its first DLC, even if they do end up charging it, but when they announce its first DLC, especially if they do what they did with Melty, which is all DLC characters are free, right? Then people will be kind of like how people got into BlazBlue when it randomly got rollback. People will be like, there's this game, and you can pick it up for $30 instead of $50, and all the DLC characters are free. And then I think it will start popping off.
And everybody's got that one guy in their friend group that keeps bugging them to play Under Night, right?
Yeah, that's me. Yeah. That's me.
Mine is one of the best in the country, so I'm not even gonna try.
Hey, Red Blade goes to my locals.
I don't know what they go by now, but they were Blooming Lotus and Royal Heart. So.
Oh, okay. I actually do recognize those names. So
yeah, they changed their name again. The Hilda player.
Yep.
They will make you hate yourself. Very good at it.
So yeah, I guess unless anyone else has any other things to add for Uni 2, my kind of closing statement on that is I think it's gonna be with us for a while, but it's gonna come out with a whimper.
I hope it's everything that Uni fans want and then some. That's the best thing I can say for somebody who doesn't play it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fair enough. Yeah.
The best thing I can say is that I want every game to succeed, so we have a lot of stuff to play.
Oh yeah, I want every game on our list to succeed, 100%.
Yeah. Speaking of, you owe me a Coke.
You're welcome for the transition. I'll be here all night.
All right. Well, now which one of us is going to say it? Anyway, speaking of, okay, go ahead.
Speaking of success, Project L
Big L.
Riot.
I think they're gaslighting me. I'm not sure it exists. Like,
Is this game real?
and
No.
I think this is a conspiracy. This is my biggest flat Earth conspiracy right now, right? Because
Like we're all having a collective fever dream about this game.
everyone who's gone to Evo and played it has said that it's been amazing. Anybody who's played it in a closed test has said it's been amazing. Like, there's great, news coming out about it. Its systems look great. The fact that it's going to have, simplified controls, but really in-depth combo mechanics is great. They have grooves. I mean, like, I'm a CVS2 head. I'm so happy that they have grooves, They have a 4-person 2v2s. That's going to be so huge.
Yeah.
Baby.
Again, rollback day 1, free to play games. You could just buy the characters that you want to play, or pay a one-time fee to get all the characters unlocked forever. So like, I should be super hype about this, but I think everyone's lying to me. Like, Project L is something that has been on the upcoming games list for literally longer than I can remember at this point.
Like, it sounds too good to be true, right? And you know what they say about things that sound too good to be true.
Exactly.
Is that they probably are.
The thing is, I don't believe it's really coming out until it gets a name change.
Yeah.
Project L is not a real fighting game.
No, I think that Project L is the sickest name it could possibly have. I think that any name that they come up with is not going to be as cool as Project L.
I hardly disagree.
I have a point. You're going to hate me for this. When the Nintendo Switch presentation, the very first Nintendo Switch presentation came out announcing everything, there was a trailer for this game, and it was called Project Octopath Traveler, and the name didn't change. So I don't want Project L to change. I want it to stay the same. I remember watching it in the high school, seeing Project Octopath Traveler, like, that's awesome, keep that name. And now seeing Project L, I'm like, shit, they have to keep that name.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but Joey has a point.
Right.
Like, really, when it comes down to it, it has been known for Project L for so long. I think it would be a huge marketing blunder if they change the name at this point.
Yeah.
Because everybody who cares about it knows it by Project L, and that's a lot because they have the League players excited.
Mm-hmm.
And as big as we think we are, which is very tiny, there's a lot of League players out there,
and,
you know?
I know that they are going to change the name because before Valorant came out, when that game was still in its testing phases, it was Project A, I think.
Mm-hmm.
When we were in like the stages like pre-Valorant, it had a project title. And then, it got released as Valorant. And so I know that Project L is going to have a name eventually. I'm just going to keep calling it Project L.
It's going to be awful. It's going to be like League of Fighters or something.
Yeah, it's going to be terrible. Project L is so much
Project
cooler.
L or something like that.
Runeterra Rumble.
Duelist of Runeterra.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate it. I'm full body cringing right now.
Earlier you mentioned that it's going to have day 1 rollback.
Mm-hmm.
Considering who's working on it and making the game,
It
could you
better.
imagine if it didn't?
Yeah, I know.
They created rollback netcode.
Literally
to begin with.
the guys who invented rollback netcode.
That would be hilarious. Like, could you imagine the
Honestly, that would be funny.
The tweets would be amazing.
I kind of want that to happen for the lulz.
Just for the tweets.
But yeah, no, like, I should be excited for Project L. And if I'm being honest with myself, I think I am. I think I am. But it's been so long, and the game has gone through, at this point, 3 major gameplay revisions, right? Like, it started something very similar to Grand Blue, became something very similar to Street Fighter, and now is something very similar to Marvel, right?
It's Power Rangers Battle for the Grid mixed with Marvel Infinite, CVS 2, and Street Fighter and Grand Blue.
Yeah, like, so it's, and eventually I just kind of want to be like, okay, shit or get off the pot. Like, I don't care if you give us a demo that has 1 character in it. We need to see this in action for it to be a reality.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Right.
And At the same time, it will be done when it's done is a very good policy to have for strong IP.
Yes.
Don't want to
and-
Overwatch to it.
Yeah. And League of Legends is a strong IP.
Very strong
so,
IP.
You know, so that being said, as much as I'm excited for it, I'm not convinced it's going to come out this year.
Me
Like-
either.
I don't think it will either.
That last trailer said they were 30% done with one character.
Wait, really?
Oh.
Yeah, the chick with the tentacles.
Oh, Ilaoi?
The pirate lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
And
big pirate lady, who I might play because I'm a sucker for big women.
Pirates. Wait, what?
and as such, since we are all in agreement that it's probably not coming out in 2024, multiverses.
Yeah.
See you, Finn.
I think the biggest challenge Multiverses is going to have is getting people to care again.
I was just about to say getting me to care.
Yeah.
because
I don't. Like, I legit don't. I played it for like half a week and was like, okay, that was fun. Bye. I didn't even pick it up when the DLC came out.
DLC
Well,
for a beta was nasty
It's
work.
wild.
Yeah.
And then they had a nerve to take the game offline after the DLC came out.
Yeah.
Right. That's the
The
thing.
last-
Like if this was really a beta, like I thought that this was going to be a soft beta, right?
Mhm.
Like
Me
the
too.
kind of thing where it's like, yeah, it's a beta, but we just kind of keep calling it a beta and it rolls into launch, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Which
Like
is what
Skullgirls.
everyone thought, like Skullgirls did.
Yeah. And that would have been fine, you know, because at that point, whatever purchases you made, they stay on your account, you know. It's not going to be a big deal. But no, they had a full-fledged store opened up, you know, where people could spend real-life dollars to buy characters, and all of that's gone. All of it's just gone.
Is it
Servers are
actually? There's
offline.
no way to
Yeah.
get that back.
All of it's just gone. Servers are offline. You know, like they haven't said anything about what they'll do with that. But as far as I understand, they're retweaking the way that you even unlock characters. They're
Yeah.
they're changing everything. So all the money that you spent on multiverses has a fairly high chance of just being flushed down the toilet.
If,
You know?
if I'm being generous to the developers, I would give them the benefit of the doubt and assume that if you spent money in the beta, you'll get some sort of premium currency back when the game relaunches. But I want to make it extremely clear that that's me being generous and giving them the benefit of the doubt. They have said nothing of the sort officially.
Counterpoint, it's WB.
Counterpoint, it's WB. Right.
That is my biggest problem with multiverses, though, is the lack of communication. Team Fortress 2 is one of my favorite games of all time, but their communication with the developers is awful. At least for Project L, we are getting something. The last thing we've got for multiverses was a tweet on June 22nd, 2023, saying, hey, we're shutting down. That's it.
And then they've been radio silent since.
Yes,
Yeah.
we need communication
Shuts-
with the developers.
Shuts down
And-
game, refuses to elaborate,
And
leaves.
supposedly,
Power move.
supposedly 2024 is its like release.
That's what they
You know?
said. They said that they were going to relaunch in 1.0, so no longer in beta, in 2024. When in 2024? Your guess is as good
Yeah,
as
I'm
mine.
going to get one new added character, and that's it.
I'm not even talking about the gameplay because like hot take, I kind of like the gameplay of multiverses.
The gameplay was
right?
fine.
But like
Awesome.
but this is another like astoundingly mismanaged IP for being Warner Brothers.
Right.
Like it's astounding, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, I don't know how you build up hype for it. You know?
I don't.
I-
You don't.
Because
You
it
gotta
had
drop
one of the biggest beta releases in fighting game history. You have to remember that. They've burnt through most of their market.
Yeah.
You know? Who else is gonna like if like 50% of that market is still skeptical after losing their money or something, you know, where else are they gonna pull players from?
They
you
gotta
know?
drop the most banger ass characters as soon as that game drops. Like,
But,
it
like,
has to be.
Who are
I
they
just
going
said
to
that,
drop
so-
that's bigger than Batman?
I know,
Yeah.
I know. You want to know who? Because Warner Brothers merged with Discovery, and Discovery owns Food Network. They put in Guy Fieri.
I was
Sure.
just going to say Lord of the Rings characters that were leaked out there because that would get my nerdy ass.
I
in.
gotta be honest. I will actually say that if they put in Guy Fieri and Gordon Ramsay, I would actually play.
Okay,
that
I would
Well, there
play
you go.
Gordon Ramsay in a platform fighter. I'm
Here
not
you
gonna
go.
sit
And
here
also,
and pretend I wouldn't.
Warner Brothers
mean-
owns TNT and TBS. They put Kenny Omega in. They put MJF. They put all the AEW wrestlers. That's how you make your money too.
Yeah, they could do that.
You're
I'm
welcome.
waiting for the video game that puts Kenny Omega in it. It's gonna
Oh, yeah.
happen.
Yes,
Yeah.
it will.
I don't
If it
know
was gonna
which
happen,
game it
was
is.
Gonna be, if it was going to happen, it was going to be Street Fighter V.
Yes.
I mean, I was gonna be like, that'll never happen. And then I remember that one of their first DLC characters was LeBron James. So yeah,
Yeah.
maybe
Let's see.
it will. You know,
Maybe
who
it
knows?
will.
Sounds weird, but LeBron's in the game.
It was Toon Squad, LeBron James. It was a specific movie.
Okay, so it could be
This
Toon
is
Squad
fine.
Kenny Omega.
Fine.
Like, you know.
Hear me
All
out.
I'm saying-
Hear me out. Captain
Oh.
Laserhawk Kenny Omega.
There
That
you go.
would be amazing. That would
Look.
be amazing.
No, we need
WB,
Sephiroth
all I'm
in
saying
the
is, I don't know how you're gonna manage it. All I'm saying is, just throw Rhea Ripley in there. I'm in. That's it. That's all I need.
Yeah.
That's all
They
I
don't.
need.
They don't have that network hat.
Look, I'm saying, if y'all can make it happen, I'm in day one. If y'all can make it happen,
Rivals
I'm
puts him
there.
Honestly, you put Rhea Ripley in anything, everybody will follow. It doesn't matter
Prints
what
money.
it is.
She prints money. Like, come on.
And she's not a terrible person like Ronda. Anyway,
Anyway.
Anyway, Rivals of
Anyway.
Aether 2. Rivals of
Let's
Aether
not
2.
let's not step foot on that turf.
Yeah.
aha, aha.
But hold on. No, I'm going to go back to that. Ronda did debut in Ring of Honor, and Ring of Honor is owned by AEW, so there's a chance.
There's not.
No,
There's none. Anywho, Rivals of Aether 2. Rivals of Aether 1 is a lot of fun.
It
Yes.
I love that game.
If I play a platform fighter, because I'm not a huge platform fighter guy, but if I am going to play one, it's usually Rivals. That's the one that I like. I like that it feels like streamlined Melee, because I love the idea of like the movement and stuff in Melee, like wave dashing and, you know, dash dancing and all of that stuff. And I like that Rivals has, I don't want to use the word simplified because that feels like it has a negative connotation. But it's the only word I can think of right now. It made it feel like it's happening on purpose, you know? Instead of, you know, the way that Melee feels, which is like a lot tighter and less what's the word I'm looking for? Less intuitive. I like Rivals of Aether a lot. I think the characters are great. I think the community is fantastic. Rivals 2 is shaking up the formula a lot, because the really interesting thing about Rivals of Aether 1 is that it doesn't have a shield. It has no shield.
Yes.
It has no shield and has no grab, because there's no shield to have to use grab to counter. So it's the rock, paper, scissors, but they got rid of paper and scissors.
Just rock is all you need.
Isn't that what Brawlhalla did?
Does Brawlhalla have a
similar.
shield?
I don't.
Yeah, it's like a parry.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because Rivals does have a
It's like
parry.
Brawlhalla.
And you can dodge.
So that's actually the thing I'm worried about, right? Because Rivals 2, I know for a lot of platform fighter fans, this is probably a good thing, but Rivals 2 looks like it is trying to be more like Melee. And if there is any one way for your platform fighter to fail, it is to try and be like Melee. You know?
I
Like-
hate that.
I think the Rivals 1 formula was good. It was unique. It was different. You know, I think now they added ledges back in.
Yep.
They added shields back
did.
in. They added grabs back in. Their air dodge. The like L canceling is a thing again. You know, like
Did Rivals 2 has L canceling? Because Rivals 1 does
Yeah.
not.
yes.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, you know, it is very much Melee, but with more furries right now.
I'm confused. You would think that being Melee having the largest Smash community out of all the other Smash communities, that would be a good thing to emulate Melee, because wouldn't they just want more of that? Or
No,
Melee
because
players
Melee players play
too
Melee.
stubborn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Melee
So,
melee players play melee.
Melee is bad. All right, I get your point now.
The problem is if it's too like melee, they're going to ask, why don't I just play melee? They're
Right.
going to be like, this is melee but bad or something like that. And making melee but better is hard. It's
Yeah.
very hard, you know. So yeah, I don't know. I am skeptically hopeful, I think, because I loved Rivals 1 so much. I do know that Team Aether has been extremely tight-lipped and extremely conservative about allowing game journalists to get their hands on builds of the game, which they were not for Rivals 1, and that also worries me. You know, like, and that is not, again, this is not me hating. I love Rivals 1. I want Rivals 2 to succeed, but just my sort of games journalism red flags are starting to go up, you know. And it feels like they may have overcommitted themselves to being so much like Melee, and that might bite them in the ass.
I didn't even know Rivals 2 was coming out till today.
Fair enough. It got announced like a year ago? Has it been a year?
Something like that.
Yeah.
But
They're
yeah,
very popular on TikTok, which, you know, is saying something. But you know,
I've actually
yeah.
seen the Rivals Aether on TikTok.
But yeah, they have like a whole series, Moveless Mondays. They show you like very specific moves, they even go over frame data, which again is great. But I'm having those tickles in the back of my mind, you know, that it's just
You
like
need a little bit for casuals.
yeah.
Not the
you might-
Spidey sense.
I think my only really major complaint with it is that there's no workshop mode. I think workshop was the best thing about Rivals 1.
Yeah, no, I'm actually gonna say that too. Workshop was great. Any game that lets you add your own content to is great, and it was a big draw for Rivals 1. And the fact that they're taking that out is, I think, gonna lose a lot of their previous fan base.
Yes.
And
I mean, yeah, it stings a little. The
Mhm.
the character that I play Olympia in Rivals 1, and she was a workshop character.
right.
You know, she was a character that somebody made using the Steam Workshop content, and then she ended up getting added to the official roster of the game. And that also happened with Molo and a couple other characters. But yeah, I mean, losing the ability to, you know, losing like mod ability and customizability in a video game that once had it always hurts.
Mm-hmm.
True. Yeah.
Because like
I'm not.
at the end of the day,
I'm sorry.
nobody makes more content than the community.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I'm not super worried about it myself because, like, you know, modders will find a way regardless.
Oh, they always will.
They always will. So I'm not
Mhm.
super concerned about the ability to mod the game, but the fact that the workshop is just not there is, yeah, that is a little concerning. But I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
always a huge advocate for allowing the community to contribute to a game, even in an unofficial standpoint. But I always think it's really, really cool when the devs of a game take something that the community did, and, you know, obviously with the people who's made its permission and blessing, add it to the game, right? I always bring up the story of Counter-Strike because Counter-Strike is one of the biggest FPS franchises of all time, and it began as a mod. It was a Half-Life mod that people were playing Half-Life Deathmatch, and they were like, we can make this better. So they did, and they created Counter-Strike. And then instead of C&D'ing them and shutting them down and turning off and like adding DRM to their games to
Nintendo.
getting rid of mod support,
What was that?
Capcom,
I'm hearing noises.
they literally hired the guys and were like, hey, why don't you guys come make Counter-Strike? And so they did, and now we have Counter-Strike. You know,
Hey, you guys want money?
right? Yeah.
Same thing with TF2. TF2 was a mod of Quake, if I'm correct.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Quake? Because I thought Team Fortress was a
No,
Source Engine
Team
game.
Fortress 2. Yeah, Team Fortress 2 was also a mod of Half-Life. Well, Team
Have you
Fortress
seen
was
that
a mod
rocket
of
launcher?
Half-Life. So yeah,
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, Team Fortress
Yeah.
1 was also a
I'm not saying
Half-Life
Quake
mod.
then.
yeah.
I'm saying Quake.
And I mean the whole MOBA genre, if we're gonna go there, you know.
Yeah,
it-
started
yeah.
with Dota, which was a mod of Warcraft 3. You know,
Yep.
so removing mods support from games is a bad idea. Personally, I'm not super worried about it because I've never been a huge mod person myself.
True.
But
Me.
it's a hit to the community aspect of any game to lose that type of support.
Yeah.
I think we're good.
That being said, Rivals 2 versus Multiverses, if that's the platform
Man,
fighter, space.
Not
Puxatani
looking good
Phil
for
poked his
LeBron.
head out and saw his shadow, and we get 6 more years of Smash.
Yeah. Right. Then we have the new Garrow Mark of the Wolves.
Let's go.
I'm very excited about this. Everything that they've showed of gameplay so far looks good. I mean, it's using the KOF engine, but I love the first Garrow. I love that there's going to be non KOF SNK games coming out. I love that Fatal Fury is continuing. My only problem is that we don't know a whole lot about it right now. So 2024 release, kind of skeptical about that. Even though SNK said look forward to a lot more info in 2024.
Well,
They said a lot more info. They didn't say the game was coming out.
Right.
That's true. Yeah.
Maybe the info could be the game release. You never know.
SNK, like as a company, as a brand, is something that I've always felt like I should be really into, right? Because they have some of my favorite character designs of all time. They have Vanessa from KOF, Terry Bogard is super cool, Rock Howard is one of my favorite fighting game characters ever.
You got mistakes like Shune.
I like Shune, okay? I'm
Shune's
not gonna sit here.
bad.
I'm not gonna sit here and let you
Shune's
badmouth
not
Shune.
So bad.
Like Isla is one of the sickest fighting game designs I have ever seen. Like that is anybody who knows me knows that Isla is like the most ghoul-coded character that has been put in a fighting game in a long fucking time.
They extracted your DNA somehow.
Fucking the purple hair and spray paint. Like, come on. That is that's not up my alley. That is my alley. Kimberly is super cool. I just don't usually play ninja characters. I didn't love like her moveset functionally, but design wise, Kimberly in Street Fighter is sick. But to not go on that tangent, SNK feels like a company that should be making my favorite games, and then they just haven't. I mean, another one, Shiki from Samurai Showdown.
Yeah.
She's such a me character. But Sam Show just had horrible netcode, and then by the time the rollback for it came out, I just don't care.
Also, I mean, the rollback build. Yeah, the rollback. It's not even that no one cared. The rollback build didn't work very well.
Well, yeah, that too.
15's online did not work. Like, you physically couldn't find a match. Like, it just was straight busted for 2 months.
I loved KOF 15 at launch. I played the hell out of KOF 15 for like the first 2 months that it released because I had lobbies that I was running. We did the T3 Invitational that I participated in. I made a bunch of content for the game. I had so much fun playing that game. Once like the initial hype of like all the lobbies and running sets and tournaments died down, I couldn't find a match. The game didn't work. The matchmaking ceased to function. I mean, it didn't cease to function. It never functioned. I just noticed it more. And I lost all excitement to play the game. And now supposedly the matchmaking is fixed, so I've heard, and I just haven't had the time or interest to get back into the game.
And there's 2 free DLC characters in it, and they're bosses.
Yeah,
and
that's awesome.
Great, so, but
King of Fighters 15 should have been an absolute grand slam. And in a lot of ways it was, but in the ways that mattered, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It's still a great game, so that means I still got hope for Garo 2.
Right, yeah, Garo 2, I think, is going to be awesome to play. I just hope that they learn from their mistakes.
So here's the thing that I think has happened, right? I think it happened around the time that Strive came out. Which is to say, somebody realized that fighting games need to be video games. Right?
Somebody, somewhere. It definitely wasn't us who have been saying it for years.
Somebody finally figured it out.
So Strive came out and it was almost there, and then Street Fighter 6 came out and it was there. right?
Yeah.
And Mortal Kombat 1, despite its many flaws, it was a video game.
It is.
And now
Yeah.
Tekken 8
It
is going to be
certainly
a video game.
was a video game.
And now Under Night 2 actually is even looking to be a video game. Project L going to be a video game. We in the fighting game community have been used to, for so long, scraping by at the bare minimum. And I think we've finally hit the point where we won't do that anymore.
Street Fighter V launch.
Yeah. And KOF 15, even though it had a lot of interesting stuff in it, its gameplay was very good. It was the bare minimum. Like it launched on PC without a VSync option. Right?
It did.
Its training mode had next to no options whatsoever. You know, it was a game. You know, its story mode was nothing to write home about. You know, like it was a bare minimum fighting game. Sam Show was a bare minimum fighting game. And I think what's happening, I actually think one of the reasons why SNK is doing a new Garo Mark of the Wolves is they realize to stay in the game, now they need a fighting game that is a video game. Most people are doing that now.
If there is a game to do something like that in SNK fighting game repertoire, it's the Fatal Fury series, because they were one of the first ones to actually do like branching stories next to like Art of Fighting. So if anybody can do it, it's that series. They have the tools to do it.
And also, if I can just take a quick aside to address our listeners, when we say these fighting games are now video games, that's a really difficult concept to explain if you don't know, right? Like if you're part of the FGC, which you might be if you're listening to this, you know what we mean when we say that fighting games for a long time have not been video games. And what
it just means single player content.
Right. Really what we mean by that is releasing with, like RPG said, bare minimum features, either awful or no single player content, and barely functioning online with next to no options like for a player to actually participate in anything besides like a versus mode and maybe going online. Right. And then, like a bare bones arcade mode.
When we say that, we basically say take any other genre, right? And compare the list of features that the most recent fighting game has to that game in another genre, right?
Yeah.
Compare Street Fighter V to the Modern Warfare that came out when Street Fighter V came out.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, there's all these other modes in shooters, there's all these other modes in sports games, there's all these other modes, in all these other genres, nothing in fighting games.
Yeah.
So like, and the fighting game community has just accepted that. And I think we're done. Like, I think it was the pandemic, actually. I think we all were stuck inside. We couldn't make our own fun. I think, now we're just like, no, we're not going to buy this thing with no features.
And that's just it, right? Is that the FGC has been like this for a long time because we used to be able to make our own fun. We used to be able to throw our consoles and monitors in a backpack and meet at a venue or somebody's house or something like that in somebody's garage and set up offline sessions and just play versus mode, right? That's really what fighting games are. I don't want to say that's what fighting games are about because that's short-sighted, but for a lot of the community, that's what we really cared about, was fighting each other.
That's what got everything started.
Yeah, that it was fighting each other. That's what we really want to do. And like, yes, focus on that, but like you said, the pandemic really, it took away our ability to do that. That was when we started to notice that like these games online suck. The online experience is terrible. The netcode is garbage. It's impossible to have a good experience with these games in my house without the ability to go to a local or go to a tournament or go to a meetup at somebody's house to play. And like that lockdown really opened a lot of people's eyes that fighting games need to be more than, quarter munchers, Fighting games need to be video games.
And that's all they were before, where they were just arcade games.
Yeah.
And I'll give credit to, Mortal Kombat. They always, even in the Midway days, tried to be video games on top of that, because you had like stupid stuff like puzzle combat, part combat, the deception mode, like in the PS2 era, and even now you still got the cinematic story mode, and then like the weird Mario
The Mario
map
Party
mode.
the
Yeah,
Mario Party
Mario
mode.
Party mode. Like a leveling system now in
But that stuff is
MK1.
cool.
Yeah, but that's because it wasn't like I guess it wasn't originally an arcade game, but after the PS2 era, they moved past that.
Yeah, and it's like
It's kind of sad that Japanese fighting games took this long to finally be like, yeah, we should probably make a video game.
and it's like if you're gonna charge me $60 now, $70 for Tekken 8. I think Street Fighter 6 was $70 too, if I'm not
Yep.
mistaken.
Mhm.
If you're gonna charge me $70 for a video game, give me a video game.
KOF
Right.
was 72, and then
I think it was, yeah. And that's what I'm excited about for fighting games in 2024, is that fighting games are finally becoming video games.
I'm excited for Garo. I hope.
I am hyped for Garo.
Yeah,
I feel like we
yes.
did a lot of like negative talk about
In-depth
SNK
stuff.
as a company, but I think that game is going to be great. At least from a gameplay perspective, and I want to like it. And the reason we keep
too.
bringing this stuff up is because we don't know a lot about it yet, right?
Yeah.
There's not a lot for us to really talk about in terms of what the game actually features. So I guess all we can really do is say we hope that SNK learns from the mistakes of their past and makes a fun fighting game with a good amount of content and a functioning online netcode that we can play and enjoy and really have it be awesome.
I just hope my boy is in there, and I hope Top Mode and Just Defend are in there. Everything else, I'm right there with you.
I don't think a fighting game is Garu without Top Mode and Just Defend. I think those are like identified like key mechanics to the franchise, if I'm being quite honest.
This isn't Tekken. This is
Well, yeah, right. It's like taking Top Mode out of Garu. What is it? Now it's a KOF game where you only pick one character.
Fatal Fury.
Yeah, it's Fatal Fury now.
I was gonna say my two major things were bringing back Kushnud. I loved him playing in Garo. I played for like an hour at most. I still loved that character to death. He was a Shoto. I love my Shotos, and I love little tweaks I made with him. And are we getting King of Dinosaurs or T-Sock? Because they're the same person with two different gimmicks. Are we getting the face or heel?
Depends on what timeline we're going with. And better question, are we getting Geese or Nightmare Geese?
Ooh.
Zombie Geese.
I mean, he's been dead in this timeline because the Fatal Fury timeline and the KOF timeline are two different ones.
We'll do another episode on fighting game stories.
Don't worry, I can talk about lore with fighting games for days.
Speaking of fighting, no.
We're already a little over, but I did want to get to a couple other things. Let's talk about DLC in the coming year.
Speaking of fighting game story, Strive DLC.
So the big DLC that we're going to see this year is going to be Street Fighter 6, Guilty Gear Strive, Mortal Kombat 1.
Yeah.
Right? Street Fighter 6, we are going to see Ed, and we're going to see Akuma.
Mhm.
Both of which I am decently excited for.
Ain't nobody care about Ed.
I kind of care about
One
it.
person is.
So
You can gaslight yourself all you want. Nobody cares about Ed.
I have curiosities about Ed. That's
Yeah.
as much as I care.
I am Ed curious. So I do want to see what they do with Ed because he was originally built to be a simple character, but now we have these simple modes. So is he still going to be a simple character?
That's what I'm
or
curious
something
about.
else?
Everyone's curious about that. I'm excited to see what they do with them.
And of course, Akuma is Akuma. Akuma did nothing wrong, so we all want to see Akuma. After that, we're going to get presumably the announcement of season 2. I swear to God, if they don't give me Third Strike characters, I'm going to flip a cake.
God. For a game that is confirmed to be the sequel to Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, to have 0 Third Strike characters.
I know, it's criminal.
All I'm saying is Jamie talks a lot about Yin and Yang.
He
if
does.
They don't show up.
Well, because
I'd
Jamie,
like to see an older Yin and Yang, or even Sean to come back.
Yeah,
Or
Sean,
give me,
definitely.
like,
now is the time for Sean to come back
100%.
100%.
and be.
I will say,
playable.
I do understand why they didn't do Third Strike characters, because if this game did not succeed at all and they completely changed Third Strike characters, made them something different, fans are not like that. So they took a break. They said, okay, we'll probably put them in season 2, see how everyone reacts to this. We all react to it very positively. So now they can put Street Fighter Third Strike characters in the game.
That's That is a smart plan. Man, Joey, you've been making a lot of good points this episode. Anyway,
RPG to say
I got
that.
my ideas from somewhere else.
Anyway, that is a smart plan. But now's the time that they do it, because if they give us a whole other season with no third strike characters,
I agree with you.
there will be riots.
I don't often drop games because of aesthetics. I might if they don't pay any service to the third strike community.
I just want Makoto, man.
Yeah,
I just want Makoto.
Give me Makoto. Give me Hugo. They're not going to give me Hugo. Give me Hugo. Give me Urian. Give me
Urian can stay his ass in 5.
Yeah. No, I'm with you
Yeah,
on that
I'm not
one.
trying to deal with Aegis Reflector or Drive Rush.
God, please.
No.
Give me 12.
Give
Give me
12. Okay, sure. Give me
Or Necro.
Necro would be good.
I mean, Alex, bring Alex back.
Alex could be good.
Alex would
I mean,
be
really,
yeah.
so many people could be good. Don't give me Ibuki. I don't care about Ibuki. But
I like it.
No. We need Dudley. That's who we
Dudley,
need.
yes.
We need Dudley. We have not had Mr. Duddle since 4.
Yeah.
I want Mr. Duddles back.
Yeah, he's, actually, we don't have a boxer character in
no,
6.
Not until
We're
Ed.
gonna get Ed.
Yeah, until Ed, yeah. Bring back
I will
Dudley.
say, I love
Watch-
Cody to death. Save him for season 3. Give me Street Fighter in season 7.
Watch, they're gonna-
Strike in season 7.
We're gonna get an Ed gameplay trailer, and he's gonna have corkscrew blow, and everyone's going to riot.
I will.
God.
The
No.
angry emails will come.
I will.
I know he's not a third strike character, but I want the weeb back. Give me Sodom.
Sodom would be cool.
Okay.
Give me Remy.
This is the Mad
Yeah,
Gear.
Yes, give me
This is
Remy.
the Mad Gear.
Give me Remy.
Gears.
I hate Remy so much, but I would take Remy.
Remy in Street Fighter 3 made no sense, but Remy in Street Fighter 6 makes a lot of sense.
Mhm.
He fits in that fighting system. He's not just Guile.
I
you
just
know.
want a Guile function that isn't Guile.
Nah, fair enough.
I want to play Sonic Boom Flash Kick without having to pick Guile.
So yeah, I don't know. I have I enjoy what we're gonna get for season 1. Riots if there's no third strike in season.
I am excited for Akuma. The moment they announce Akuma for DLC, I'm like, I need to see what he's going to do with this system mechanics. Because Akuma with Drive Rush and everything else sounds terrifying. And like,
Oh yeah, I can't wait to Drive Rush into Demon. That's gonna be so
That's gonna
good.
be amazing.
My brain.
Oh,
Don't
good.
put that evil on me. I'm already scared of Drive Rush Zangief. You want me to add that on top of it? Come on.
Man. As far as Guilty Gear goes, I only have one hope, and that is ABBA.
Same here.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree. Bring back ABBA already. They've shown that they're willing to go deep into the archives.
Yeah.
Give me Cliff or give me nothing.
Bring back ABBA. I'd be fine with Cliff, but bring back ABBA. Bring back Zappa. I would love to see Zappa in the new system.
Because
my Zappa the new style.
My 2 Guilty Gear characters are Elfelt and ABBA, and I got Elfelt back, although she's a completely different function, which I guess is fine. I suppose I'll survive without shotgun loops.
You sound bitter.
But I am bitter. I mean, Strive's wall breaks weren't going to let me shotgun loop anyway, which is why I don't like the wall break system. But that's a different episode.
It's not guilty, old head.
I've already gotten all the characters that I've wanted so far, and I'm perfectly fine with whoever they're adding after Elfelt, because I already got Bridget, I got May, Elfelt's back. I'm good.
Yeah,
I don't need anything else.
In this Behemoth Typhoon, Undisputed Joey does not get played because all he has is Gold-Lewis.
Gold-Lewis in this Behemoth Typhoon. All we do is Gold-Lewis.
I love Gold-Lewis. That's all I need. But the one DLC character I do want, I know this is not happening. I made a TikTok about this like 2 years ago. The one thing that I want is that I want the final DLC character to be Ragna and then announce a new Blaze Blue.
I mean,
It's not gonna happen.
I just want them to announce a new Blaze Blue, but that's not going to happen.
Not gonna happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just throw that idea out there that you guys are not going to agree with.
So,
If I
go ahead, Hat.
Yeah, I'll say the only character that I would say that I am like desperately like wanting, if I really had to choose one, it had to be Slayer. Like that's the only
Slayer, yeah.
that's the only other character. Other than that, like I'm gonna sit here and just do like kickstart my hearts and just shoot people in the face from afar. I'm good. I don't care.
Not Robot Kai. You know what Robot Kai?
Robo
Oh my gosh.
So
Like,
like
if
Slayer.
I had a like
Oh.
any kind of like certainty that Robokai was even a possibility, I would say yeah. But I don't think it's happening.
I want Venom to come in, and I want him to be able to set up Robokai's head and use it with his pool.
instead of the pool balls.
Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want to happen. I want that is fighting games best gay power couple right there.
So I have a better chance of getting Justice in the blue Robo word into that game than you do that.
So I
actually-
can see Slayer. I kind of want Raven back, but I'm
can
just
see
an
Dizzy
edge.
as well.
I'm just an edgelord. I know a lot of people
Answer.
want Dizzy. I'll actually be surprised if we don't get Dizzy.
I just want to see Daisy in the style.
I don't see Answer coming back, if I'm being quite honest
No,
with you.
the answer ain't gonna come back.
But if I had to pick one more besides ABBA, I'd have to go with Order Soul.
Oh, that would be so good.
Yeah.
That would be so
Order
good.
Order Soul in the Strive style and combat system would be so tight.
there's gonna be so many belts.
So many belts. Listen,
He's gonna look like a Kingdom Hearts character.
I
There's
am a
gonna be
Kingdom
so many
Hearts
belts.
kid, okay? Give me
Yeah.
give me Order Soul and let Tetsuya Nomura draw him.
There's
Okay,
not enough
back.
belts.
Give me belts
Gear-
on the knees
Guilty
and
Gear
belts on the
World.
ankles.
Guilty Gear World for Kingdom Hearts. Let's just do it.
Yeah.
Let's just
I
do
want
it.
belts on the sword. I want belts on the sword.
Give me a
Yeah,
belt
yeah.
on the sword, wrap the sword in bandages like he's Kingdom Hearts 2 Cloud.
No, like he's Nanami.
I want belts on the shoes. Okay, give me belts on the shoes. Give me
Belt
a belt
buckles.
headband.
I want belts on his belts.
Yes,
See,
just loop belts on the belts. Just go crazy. Go nuts.
y'all are joking, but that's what they actually have designed for some of these Kingdom Hearts characters.
No,
like,
I
they
know.
have belts on their
Yeah.
shoes. They got like belts on
Mark,
their belts.
Mark,
like,
where did you get the impression that I was joking?
I was dead serious.
Bro, one of my favorite.
Go on.
Go ahead, Joey.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No. I was gonna say I'm gonna change the topic a second, but no. You guys finish what you want to say.
No, I was about to say, like, dude, my favorite Final Fantasy character is Lulu. Like,
Oh,
of course, I want the
Yeah.
belts. I want belts everywhere.
Belts upon
okay?
belts upon
Yes.
belts.
Her dress is made of belts.
Her dress is belts.
Excellent taste, by the way.
Yeah, come on now.
That must take forever to put on.
Yeah.
Like,
Or take off.
She can take as long as she wants. Okay.
Now I'm gonna change the topic a tiny bit. Just a tiny bit. Strive 3v3s.
oh yeah,
yeah.
Look at that. Yeah, I
Welcome.
totally forgot about that.
You're
Holy
I
crap!
don't know what that is.
They're doing a
We're
party
not
mode.
sure. It
Yeah.
might be like KOF or it might be like Marvel. We're just getting 3v3 Guilty Gear
We're
Strive.
getting 6-player 3 versus 3 mode.
I think
in
it's team
Strive.
battle. It's like
Yeah,
Tekken's
yeah,
team battle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's a Guilty Gear or no, is it KOF or is it Marvel?
It's KOF, except you
Okay.
you get to play with 3 friends on your team. And so like
that's what I
after
thought it
I
was.
lose, somebody else can come in and play their character.
Okay, that's
So
what I thought.
Team Battle and Tekken that they've been doing since Tekken 3.
Yeah, but then stopped doing immediately upon
yeah. It doesn't count as since if the last one didn't have it, Mar. But yeah, no, I'm really hyped for it. Like
I think it's
gonna be
because I
really
played
cool.
Ghoul.EXE. I don't know who else I'm gonna play.
Like
With your friends.
Yeah.
Like I
That's
said
the whole
before,
point.
I don't have any friends.
Motherfucker!
Well, in this room we have 5 people. That's not 6. Okay,
Honestly, thanks for
How many
bringing
people
that
are
up.
in the Discord?
5 right now.
Thanks for bringing. So we'll rope someone else in. But thank you for bringing that up because actually, I think that might be one of the things that I am most excited for in 2024. Like,
Guilty Gear Strive party mode. Yeah.
yeah, like more fighting games need to have cool things like that in it.
Speaking
Uh,
of upcoming stuff in 2024, that's 3v3. Hunter x Hunter.
Oh,
True,
Oh,
true,
yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah.
That game is
How we feel.
happening.
How do we feel?
It surely looks like a
Give me
game.
gameplay first.
If it is an actual fighting game,
Not
like
an
a
arena
fighting game, I'm in. Because I like when we have new properties, you know. I'd love to see how they interpret characters. You know, I'm not the biggest Hunter x Hunter fan, but I have my faves, you know, and I know who I'm going to play, you know.
I'm gonna play Netero. Just palm. Give me palm loops.
So I feel excited with a huge asterisk, possibly a bigger asterisk than my webcam right now.
Optimistic.
Like giant asterisk, because it's being published by a company that's known for making gacha games and visual novels.
Oh.
But it's being developed
But
by
it's
the
being
people who made Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Yeah, so
Oh,
I
shit.
don't know what's going on. I think they're just trying to confuse me. Like,
How are you gonna mix me and the game hasn't even come out yet? Like, come on now.
Then you know it's a real versus game. You get mixed outside the game before it's even launched.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. If it's a
want that?
real versus game, I'm there, right?
Mhm.
If it's a real fighting game of any type, I'm there. If it's another arena fighter, cool. I'm happy for the people who like arena fighters, but we have
I'm going to bed.
so many anime arena fighters. We have so many.
Telling me
I'm
that this is. Sorry, go on.
I was like, I'm hoping for Clash of Ninja, but I am expecting Ultimate Ninja Storm.
Or tell me that this is going to be like Fighters, but without Super Dash.
I mean,
Hopefully.
I have
Maybe.
nanny bullshit.
I mean, if it is like fighters, I'm really in. Like, I'm a lot of people say it looks like ass. I don't think it looks like ass. Like, people, you know,
It looks like 2011.
Yeah.
They're clearly emulating 2011's anime,
I think
Yeah.
it looks like a low-budget fighting game.
yeah.
which is fine.
Which is fine.
I'm okay with that. I play Battle for the Grid.
Yeah.
That's about as low budget as you can get.
Right.
Oh
man.
They didn't open with voice acting. You had to wait a month for voices.
Yeah.
What about Nick All-Star Bro?
Oh my
Oh,
god.
don't even
You had
get
to
me
wait 2 months
started.
for that and pay for it.
Yeah, I can't wait till fighters get released. Like it's gonna be amazing.
In 2024, I am excited to continue not playing Nick All-Stars Brawl. Yeah, I think we've mostly gone over stuff. There's a couple other things on TikTok, and this is a really difficult thing to talk about, but we will link, or I should say Ghoul will link. I'm volunteering him for this, but Ghoul will link this trailer for a new indie project, which is a turn-based, grid-based fighting game where you fight in giant robots, right? And in the words of our friend Stray, it looks like Yomi Hustle, but better. It looks like what if you take Final Fantasy Tactics but made it a fighting game? And it's in very early development, but I am skeptically hopeful for it, because I love when indie games play around in the design space, Oh, we didn't even talk about Mortal Kombat DLC. No one cares about Mortal Kombat DLC. Moving on.
You already know what's happening.
Yo, I can't wait for Superman number 3.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, I'll give them credit. Looks like they're trying to make those characters play differently, and the fact that they got the actual voice actors to play those characters and shows that they have money. But the problem is, it shows that they're not spending the money on their community, because if you look at the Pro Tour, it's pennies compared to like Street Fighter and stuff, which is sad because people call the FGC poverty stuff anyway. So if you're getting pennies in poverty, that's...
Although, no, they explicitly didn't get Homelander's actor. Isn't that the case?
They did not get Homelander.
He's definitely what's going on.
Oh, was I
He's been
missing
up and down Twitter
but they
saying
got
like,
John Cena.
yeah, he's been up and down Twitter saying like, yeah, I'm not in Mortal Kombat, but go ahead and play Call of Duty. I'm in that one.
So unless he is lying directly to our faces because he explicitly said he's not in Mortal Kombat.
I mean, it is Homelander.
It is.
I was he's probably being in character.
Right, yeah, but unless that is the case, unless it's a work, Homelander's going to have a different voice actor. They did get J.K. Simmons to voice Omni-Man, though. And the comic book nerd
he's willing to do pretty much anything.
The comic book nerd in me knows that Omni-Man and Homelander are very different characters, even in terms of their powers, but we don't have time for me to nerd about that right now.
I will say this. Normally, I am against the gamer, pitchfork crowd that's like, this DLC is too expensive. And I'm like, No. That's just the price of development. $10 for a fatality is too expensive.
Yeah.
Like there is
That's
no
stupid. That's stupid.
way in
Information.
hell, dev costs ended up shaking out to $10 per fatality. No way in hell. Like
way.
The only good thing I can say about Mortal Kombat DLC was my best friend. He does not play fighting games at all. I got him to play Mortal Kombat with me for like a day. He liked Noob because they're adding Noob back in DLC Pack 2, which is pretty much rumored, which is pretty much confirmed. It was leaked. First one got leaked. It's confirmed. Second one got leaked. Hopefully, it's confirmed. That's the only thing I can think of. Is he said, "I will play with you once Noob comes out." So if I have someone I can constantly just say, "Want to come over and play Mortal Kombat?" That makes me happy.
So I want to make it clear, Combat Pack 2 is a leak, right? It's a rumor. They have not officially announced in an official capacity what Combat Pack 2 is.
Yeah,
True.
that is just a leak or technically a rumor. But if it is true, I am playing a lot more Mortal Kombat 1 in the coming future.
What about the rest of Combat Pack 1? Does anybody here care about Takeda?
I do. I actually love Takeda.
Yes,
he was my favorite character.
cool.
I played he was my main
Did anybody
MKX.
remember that he was in Combat Pack 1 until I just said something?
I did because he's my favorite character from MKX.
Takeda, Ermac, and Homelander, and we already know the John Cena's coming out with Peacemaker. I'm waiting for Ermac because I love Green Lantern and Justice 2, and I heard Ermac is pretty much the same. I didn't play X, so I'm just waiting for that to come out.
I'm happy for Ghoul. Let's put it that way.
Takeda was my dude. I played him in MKX. I played Takeda and Molina. And so I'm happy that he's coming back. Is it going to be enough to get me to play the game? Maybe for a day. Maybe I'll, drop the money on him and pick him up for a couple days and lab some stuff. But I really have no interest in going back to MK1.
Yeah, especially after that tournament we had.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it would be nice if the game worked.
Yes, man. Don't
answer the question.
That's a different episode.
That's a different episode.
Answer that question you just answered. If Spawn couldn't get me into Mortal Kombat 11 and Omni-Man can't get me into MK1, I don't think I'm ever going to play another Mortal Kombat again.
Fair enough.
That's fair.
Oh, did you say Injustice?
See? But not Mortal Kombat.
The Mortal Kombat DLC that I'm looking forward to is the announcement of Injustice 3. Moving on.
There we go.
Yeah.
Move on.
So, is there anything else in 2024? Any releases, any add-ons, any DLCs that you guys are excited about that we have not talked about yet?
Yes, actually. I don't think you guys mentioned this earlier, but Tekken DLC.
Tekken DLC, there's nothing official about it yet. There's only rumors.
Well, we got announcements for it, though.
I guess
probably will get Season Pass 1 announced.
I am theoretically hyped for the theoretical DLC, which is currently theoretical.
I just want the game in my hands because they already put Reyna in the video game. So anybody else is just extra.
Before you have a character and somebody that you play, I'm not bitter at all.
You play Fang and you're gonna like it.
I mean, yeah, I'm actually excited for the changes for Fang. My actual people have asked me this before, but they're like, if you could make some changes to like Tekken in the future, what were like the small changes you would want to make? And I said more voice lines.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I hate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, but I love the sound design. Just hearing like foot dive, that's hilarious. And people calling assists, that's amazing. Like all the sound design, it's incredibly quotable. The only thing you can really quote in Tekken is Dorian.
Yeah. So Tekken 8's voice acting is a huge step up. I mean, this is definitely a topic for a different episode, but the characters talk while you're fighting now.
Yeah.
They didn't do that before.
It's cool as hell.
Yeah, it is. Azucena's talking shit in Spanish the whole time. It's great. I love it. But that's
you need more coffee, and then just starts, doing the gritty on you. Like that's gonna be amazing. There's gonna be so many memeable moments, and I hope Leroy brought Sugar back because I need to see more slow-mo Sugar deaths.
When he calls the dog.
Yeah. Go get him, Sugar.
If there's anything else that I want to say, I am maybe the only person at this point who's excited about upcoming Grand Blue Rising DLC.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Of course I'm excited about that. I can't wait.
Never mind. Stepping back.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm excited about.
Okay, go off, Matt.
First of all, 2B was just the inspired choice because, of course, that's just going to print money. Thank God.
Yes.
2B prints money. That's just a law of
2B
nature.
just also,
three things are certain: death, taxes, and 2B printing money.
Exactly. Exactly. Also, real quick, can I just say that? I'm so glad that Grand Blue got a second fucking chance.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
Oh my lord!
I don't play Grand Blue, but I'm really happy for y'all because that game needed a second chance.
It needed it so bad. It came out at the wrong time, and
it really did.
Now that it's everything that I wanted and more. Oh,
I mean,
my goodness.
I'm glad it's out, but I think it's also suffering the Undernight problem in that there are other fighting games I want to play right now, but I will get into it eventually.
Yeah.
I will say the best that they can do was make a free version with just a character rotation for free.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That was
it's not like
games should do that.
It's not like we've been saying to do that since Killer Instinct in 2010.
Yeah.
Or Dead or Alive 5 on the PS3.
Audience, I just want to say right now, I apologize ahead of time for how bitchy we are, but we have a lot to bitch about, and I think that it's valid. So,
hey, bitter clips get clicks.
All right. So, anybody else have anything else that they're excited for in 2024?
Just some upcoming T3 events. I mean, we have the Tekken 8 Invitational coming up. That's going to be on the 28th of January, which is only days after launch of the title. So it's going to be interesting. Pre-show is on the 27th, where you'll get to meet all of the players and talk to the TOs and listen to us talk shit about each other. I say us because I am involved. So you'll get to meet everybody that's involved, and we're going to talk a bunch of shit, and we're going to hype up the match. And then on the 28th, the tournament will ensue. And it's going to be really interesting to see how people handle the game just a few days after launch, because it comes out on, what, the 25th?
Yes.
Is the launch date?
Does it have any of that... if you pre-order it, you can play it early bullshit that Mortal Kombat does?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, good.
Tekken 8 comes out January 26th.
26th. So that's right. Even one fewer day.
That's 2 days. 2 days.
So we're going to be playing in a tournament against each other 2 days after the game launches.
Expect high-level gameplay. That's all I have to say.
It's going to be exciting.
Following that, we have the Uni 2 Invitational on February 3rd.
Yes.
Which is going to be great. We're going to get a lot of people involved in that. And then following that, on February 5th, we have Mastermania, where people are going to get to air out their grudges and fight in matches that they've been wanting to get to have all year.
Be prepared to be esports entertained.
I mean, wasn't there like an entire arc where Joey was like, "Here, fight me in anything"?
Yeah, and everyone responded with no.
No, everybody said, "Here, fight me, Joey," and then Joey didn't fight anybody.
I didn't see any videos. Only Phil made a video. I still have to call. I still never made a response video. That's my bad.
If Joey wants matches, we can get Joey matches. All right, we can book some stuff for Undisputed Joey.
So, that's basically it. If you've followed us this far, if you've listened this far, we hope that you had a great time. If you don't know who we are T3, top tier tournaments, the TikTok fighting game community. We all come together. You don't have to be a part of TikTok to join our community. It's just where we started. We're going to have links to the Discord where we hang out, the tournaments that we're going to be holding. We love teaching people how to play fighting games. We love getting new people in, but we have a lot of old people who have been playing for a long time too. We hold lots of different events, including the tournaments, including trivia nights, including hangouts, stuff like that. If you want to get involved with the community, feel free to join in. There's going to be a link to join somewhere down in the doobly-doo. And we would love to see you there.
Absolutely.
Everybody, anything you want to say before we sign off?
And that's Undisputed.
Keep pressing buttons, and I can't wait for Dragon Ball Fighters to actually get released this year. Hopefully, it'll be good.
Oh, we didn't talk about that. It's not happening this year.
You're lying to me. You're lying to me. You're lying to me. Cut the podcast. Cut the podcast.
And with that, make sure you join our Discord down below. You will also find links to the content from everybody that was involved in this episode. My name is Ghoul. For My Life is an RPG, Undisputed Joey, General Mar, and HeroicHat. This is T3 signing off.